Hey everybody, welcome to our business discovery overview. We have a really special guest on with us today. So I'm going to start by sharing our presentation slides. And we really want to make this interactive for those of you who are on live and those of you who are watching the recording. Welcome as well. Let's see, get the presentation slides going. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey, and then we're going to introduce our guest speaker, and we're going to ask her, we're going to drill her with a lot of questions. But just know this really is for you guys. So welcome, and please type in the chat box where you're joining from. If this is your first time attending a business discovery overview with us, or just in general, I guess I would say, if you're prospecting, kind of understanding about the business, and I would love to know, what do you do now for work? So that would be in the chat box. You can type in those three things. My name is Dr. Danielle Daniel. I'm a doctor of psychology and licensed mental health clinician from San Diego, California. And I saw myself in my career just going as an employee and doing therapy for the rest of my life until I retired at 68, 70. And it's a great career. But there became a time about 35 years old that I said, I want to do something more. And I had started to feel, I was already living paycheck to paycheck, and I had started to feel just a little trapped. I was on a family vacation actually in Lake Mead with my sister and my brother-in-law and many others in my family. But my brother-in-law, who is involved with a social marketing or network marketing company, I saw the lifestyle they lived, and all of a sudden it just dawned on me, like, wait a second, why am I not creating that type of life? And it really hit me, like, I can create that type of life. I can create any life and career I want and how I want to, and go with my career in mental health. So that trip was really pivotal for me. And so my intention today is really just to share with you some of the key things for you to consider when you're looking at a network marketing or social marketing type of a business. And I'm not here to convince you, Janine, that it's my special guest. She's not here to convince you. We're just going to tell you our story. We're going to give you some facts and some things for you to look at that can help you discover if this is the right fit for you, because that's really the key. So without further ado, I'm actually going to introduce Janine, and I am going to pull up her bio so I can actually read it, because I just realized I can't look at it on my computer. Hold on one sec, but she is joining us from Scottsdale, Arizona, and she is author. How many of you guys, can you put in the chat box, have you heard of the book, The Flip-Flop CEO? Let me know if you've heard of that. Of course, my thing is frozen. I can't look at the questions now. So Janine, I'm just going to ask you, because my phone is frozen now. Will you tell us a little bit about your former life before getting involved with writing the Flip-Flop CEO and network marketing? Just tell us a little bit about you. And I'm sorry, because my bio did not work.
No worries. So yeah, I'll just share a little bit about my story. So my daughter is the one that introduced me to network marketing. I had been working in the corporate world for about 30 years. And the last 10 years, I've been working for a company that I absolutely loved. And the gal that owned the company decided she wanted to retire. So she sold the company, and I was left with nothing to show for my 10 years of hard work. I was devastated. I had no idea what I was going to do or how I was going to, replace that job that I love so much. And so I was really looking for a way to create a six-figure income with the freedom and flexibility to do it from wherever I was, because in Arizona it gets really hot and we leave for 6 months out of the year. So I thought really what I was looking for was impossible. And at the same time, my daughter Lori had graduated from U of A and had just gotten into the corporate world. She had gotten a job with a local television station. And after 2 weeks of working, she went to her boss and said, I want to take off next week. And her boss said, you've only been working for 2 weeks. You haven't earned a vacation. And Lori said, oh, well, that's okay. You don't have to pay me, but I just want to take off. And of course, they thought she was crazy. And what I found out is that when Lori was in college, she would plan all of her fun activities first and her classes all around her fun activities. So she thought that when she graduated, she could do life the same way she did college. And she found out very quickly that that is not the way it worked. So she was miserable in the corporate world. She wanted freedom and flexibility, and she was making $60,000 a year. She thought she was worth $600,000 a year. And so she went to a meeting, and it turned out that it was a business opportunity presentation, much like this. And when she heard about network marketing, she thought, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And she couldn't wait to come home and tell me because she thought, I'm looking for something too. We could do this together. It would be perfect. And when Lori told me about what she had discovered, she said, Mom, I'm sure you've never heard of network marketing, or you would have told me about it. And I said, yes, Lori, I have heard of it. And you want to run as far away from that as you can, because it is not what you think it is. And, you don't want to be one of those people. And I was horrible. I was her first dream stealer. So I explained to her why I felt the way I did. I had had an experience 30 plus years ago where someone invited me over for dinner. And when I got there, it turned out to be a business opportunity presentation. And I had been lied to. It was the bait and switch that used to happen 30 years ago on a regular basis. And I was so angry that I thought I will never have anything to do with anyone in network marketing. And so I was really like a lot of people. I was operating with outdated beliefs. I was operating with, that one experience was changing my whole perception of the business model of network marketing. And so after a year of battling, finally, a series of things kind of happened, and I did my due diligence after trying to prove to Lori that she was absolutely wrong about thinking that this was great. And I discovered that I was the one that was wrong. And I discovered that this is a brilliant business model. And I jumped in with Lori with both feet, and we did very well, very quickly. And so I was able to experience that this is for real, that people just don't understand it. And so because of that experience, we ultimately decided to write a book, because there's so many people out there like me that are operating with outdated beliefs. And it has just become my passion to enlighten people about what this business is and what it is not. And then it's up for you to decide. It's not for everybody, but I just want people to be able to make an informed, educated decision.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. And I love that your daughter is like, right out of college. Oh, well, I don't want to work this week. It's just so true. And so I actually want to take this from here. I have a poll I want to ask you guys. Here it is. What do you want more of? How you're earning your income? What would you want more of out of how you earn your income? And so you can choose a few of those as we go through the next. And I want to get some more of the nitty gritty with Janine here. So the first thing I want to talk about, and this is where we're going to talk about with the different income models. When you're looking at creating like her, Janine's daughter, and like that long-term sustainability, like Janine had not had experienced with her other job that they left the job. What was it that it folded the company?
It was sold. Yeah,
It sold.
She sold it to retire.
Sold it to retire, right? And so we're looking at long-term sustaining, right? Freedom of your finances and improved quality of life for self and others. Would you say that that's like something that would bring you, if you could have a package that had all of those in bringing your income, that would be pretty stellar, right? So we're going to talk for a second here. There's 3 main income models that you'll find: self-employed, employee, or a business owner. Now, I want to end this poll. I'm just looking at what you guys had said here. Help others. I love that that's the top one. You guys are amazing. That's so great. And then I want to ask in here, I know I kind of asked, but which of these three different income models have you guys been involved with? Self-employed, employee, or business owner? Wonderful. I'm seeing the polls go up. It looks like employee is the largest, and that's what I'm familiar with as well. So, what I want to ask you next, we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between the fourth income model, which is social marketing, and the regular income models that we're used to. So, if I told you that there was a way from the other poll that I just asked you guys of what you want more of to help others have more freedom, have more finances, if I told you that that was actually possible with network marketing, would you be interested in at least learning how and why? Right? So I'm going to end that poll here and I'm going to go to this next one. And Janine, actually, what I want to do is I want to ask you guys, can you put in the chat box what are some of the reservations you've ever heard of or you've had about social marketing or network marketing? Can you put that in the chat box? And I think I'm going to have Janine kind of answer some of those. So I want to, Janine, I know you talked about your initial reservation. If you guys haven't read the Flip Flop CEO, it's phenomenal. It really goes through a lot of the myths that people have in answering like their reservations of why. So I kind of want to hear from Janine, why, if you had to tell someone in 3 minutes why network marketing is actually the smartest income model out there, what would you tell them?
Oh my gosh. There are so many reasons that I believe that, but I would say the first one was exemplified with my situation where I worked for 10 years for this other person's business. A lot of people thought I owned the business because I poured my heart and soul into it and I loved it. And it was about helping people. And so that's why I was so stuck on what I was going to do next. But what happened was at the end of that 10 years, when the person that owned the company sold it, I had nothing to show for my 10 years of working for her. And what I love about network marketing is that we are building asset income. We are building something that is going to go on beyond the trading time for money scenario. So our society teaches us to become an employee or to become self-employed or a small business owner. But basically, both of those scenarios are trading time for a paycheck. If we don't go to work, we don't earn a paycheck. And so no matter how much money you make per hour, a lot of people think that they're great because they make, their attorneys or physicians or, whatever, and they make a lot of money per hour. But whenever you're tied to the billable hour, you still don't have freedom. Freedom is having the money and the time to enjoy it. And with network marketing, it is a way for you. I like to say, for people that are my age, I'm a baby boomer, but for anybody that's even over 50, this is a way also to create almost like a sweat equity retirement fund, because there aren't a lot of ways that someone that is, 60 plus years old can step into something with a very low cost to get involved. And to create this kind of income. So I would say, the ongoing income is really one of the biggest benefits, to be able to do the work once and be paid over and over and over again for that work. But also just the unlimited income potential, the lack of discrimination of any kind. Danielle has her PhD. I have a 2-year degree. There is no barrier to entry based on your resume or your education. It's really about your desire. And then having the freedom and the flexibility. I was looking to replace a 6-figure income after having been an employee for 30 plus years. So I didn't know how I was going to be able to create that kind of income, when I'm in Montana in the summer and do it from anywhere. So to be able to step into that kind of a model is unheard of. And it's so foreign to most of us that have been conditioned to believe that we should follow this map of the traditional path. This is not the traditional path, but it's brilliant. So I won't keep on talking, but those are a couple of reasons.
I love it. And I think you bring up, she said something really important, that is, it's the most equal opportunity income model you can ever be involved with. And I'm going to have Janine look at the reservations that you guys typed in. I'm going to ask her these to respond as well. But here's what you have to remember. She said something really important. I have a doctorate. Janine has 2-year degree. I know plenty of you guys who have, no college degree, but have spent years being a mother. We each, every single one of us, no matter of your country, your race, your degrees, nothing, it doesn't matter. It's an effort-based business. What effort I put into it, I will get back. And so I have a few of the questions here, and I love that you guys are putting in your reservations, and we're going to look at those. Let me stop the share for a second so we can go into that. So a couple of the reservations that you guys have heard of, I think are really important to address, is that no one ever makes money, but you spend a lot, and only the top people make money. So I want Janine, before we go into the others, if you'll describe that myth, if you will talk about the reality versus the myth, because I had the same thought, you guys. I'm there with you. I felt the same way.
That was my biggest misconception. I really believed that it was like a pyramid, that I believe that the person that sponsored my daughter wanted to talk to me because she wanted me to do all the work while she made all the money. And so what I discovered is that it is definitely not that way. You can surpass the person that sponsors you in income, if your desire is greater and you are more effective. But the way that you worded it exactly, that nobody makes any money, it's one of the things that drives me crazy. And one of the reasons I'm on this call today, one of the reasons I spend my life trying to bring clarity to this topic, because there are so many half-truths and misconceptions out there. The media perpetuates the myths, and every time I'm reading an article in a magazine about network marketing, it starts off great, and by the end, it's got the same old myths being perpetuated. It'll say wonderful things, but then at the end, it'll say, "But no one ever makes any money. Most people spend more money than they make." Well, first of all, what they don't take into consideration is that many people sign up to be a distributor because they want a discount on the products. And the challenge is that really, really dilutes the ability to measure how many people are really earning an income. And I think that we as network marketers tend to perpetuate those myths because we highlight and focus on the people that are really in the top, 1 to 3%. And while those people are making really, really good money, there are all kinds of people that have been able to replace their corporate income, replace the income that they were making. And maybe they're not, earning the rock star income, but they are making a very significant income. They're able to do it on their own terms. So that's the thing that I love, is that success is different to different people. It's not the same thing to everyone. For some people, just being able to do their work around their life instead of their life around their work, that's success to them. So we don't emphasize enough the people that are, making exactly what they're hoping to make. To some people, want to make their car payment. Some people want to make their mortgage payment. Some people want to retire a lot more comfortably. So it's really success is different things to different people, but that myth is really primarily perpetuated by the fact that a lot of people are not really doing the business to have it be a significant income. They're doing it because they want the discount, or they are kind of just doing this little side thing. Their intentions are not the same. So it's really all about our desire and what we want. And what I love about this opportunity is that we can get whatever it is that we want. It has the potential to make a little bit or a lot. It's up to you as to what you put into it.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining that. And I love that in her book, you guys, it talks about when you look at, she mentioned pyramid, right? And that the top make all the money. Can you think of another business model that's actually like that? Every single corporate industry. Are you ever going to make more than the CEO of the company? No. And you know what? That's what's wonderful about this is, like we talked about, it's equal opportunity. You, whatever effort you put in, whatever your desires, your goals, and what success is, like you said, Janine, to you, you can create that because everyone gets paid on a certain amount of their work. And so that's all it's up to. It's all up to you. And it doesn't matter your age. I remember a few years ago, there was a lady in her 80s with a walker walking across the stage with doTERRA's company for hitting a high rank. And I was just like, if she can do it, I mean, who else can? I mean, anybody can. And that's what's beautiful about this. So if I may, I'm going to share, because Janine was really talking about how this can be whatever success you want. And I'm going to share a little bit about my business story, and then we're going to transition. But when I was 35, I finally realized I wanted to do something to help people at a larger scale, but also in a holistic way in the mental health field. So that was where I was at. That was really driving me. I also wanted more freedom of my time and finances. Those were huge to me. And I'm sure they are to you guys as well. And so I had this desire, and it was at that time that I had started using doTERRA's essential oils. I found that they helped me so much with my own personal health, and they were helping my clients, that I just thought, and then I learned about business. I thought, well, why not? Why would I not integrate something holistic as a mental health practitioner? So I started doing that, and I set out to do that not as a hobby. I set out to do that to replace my income and do this on a global scale and make, more money than I could in my career. And 2 years in, I was able to quit my job. And by 3 years in, I was able to replace, not only replace my income, but double my income and then triple my income. So I make more now working from my camper van in Colorado at the moment, or wherever I want, than I ever would have if I stayed in my career. And that was what I wanted. That was what was success for me. And it's been phenomenal to help other people to do that. I want to ask, as we go into a couple questions. You said something, Janine, about a hobby, and I was trying to find the question. Um, oh, yeah, here it is. How do you think network marketing differs from other side gigs or entrepreneurial business options? So, what is different about this for a side gig versus,
You know what, again, I have to go back to the ongoing income factor of this business. I mean, there are lots and lots of options for people these days. There's lots of side gigs available, more now than ever. But all of them that I know of are pretty much trading time for money. And once you've had a taste of working once and being paid over and over and over again for years, you can never go back to trading time for money. It just doesn't make sense. So I think of all the side gigs that people, a lot of people, it seems like everyone is becoming a coach these days. And then a lot of people are looking for multiple streams of income because they I think what the pandemic has taught us all is not to have all of our eggs in one basket, and how important it is to have a plan B before we need it, and to create multiple streams of income. So, this is one of the few things that you can do alongside of a busy career and still build a significant income. Do it until it matches your current income, and then decide what you want to do. You don't have to trade what you're doing for this. You can do it in addition to. And it gives you, when you've created an income with this kind of business, it gives you a lot more choices and options. So if there's something that you don't love about your career, it gives you the ability to negotiate. Maybe you only want to work a couple days a week, or it changes your life, because money just equals freedom and choices. It just simply gives us more choices. And so for a side gig, this is I just think has the greatest potential of anything that I can imagine that you could do on a side basis.
yeah, I agree. It can be a hobby if that's what you want it to be, but why not make it like what you said, Janine? to be that freedom that you desire. It's really hard. I've thought about that. It was like when I was trying to retire myself from my career, in the middle of it, I felt kind of like I saw some of your comments too. Where you're just like, is this really working? Is it really going to work for me? And I just had those doubts come up. And there was moments several times, and I would remind myself of the same thing. And I said, well, I could just stop, because what if it's not going anywhere? And I would remind myself, well, if I stop, then I'm in the same boat. I'd be nowhere in 2 to 5 years. I would be in the same position. I was like, no, I'm not staying in the same position. So I want to cover a couple things before I ask a few more questions with Janine. When you're looking at any business, okay, now this is the 4 factors that contribute to an income producing business. This is put out by Harvard University. This is not Dr. Danielle's business science, okay? So what I think is really important to understand is really to make an income and make yourself profitable, you do need a large target audience, products that serve a large audience, okay? So the next thing, I'm going to just go through this real briefly today. Market profitability. Your products need to be in multi-million and billion-dollar industries. If you're inventing something that hardly anybody needs, or it's just not going to make a lot. It might be a cool invention, but you might not get a lot off of it. So it needs to be in, like, your skincare, your hair care, your cleaning care, things that people just have to buy, right? The third thing they discovered was consumable. So that means that you use the product and have to reorder. If you're selling vacuums that have a lifetime warranty, awesome, probably great vacuums, but I buy one vacuum, lifetime, it gets fixed. You're finding new people constantly. Consumable means you have people that are continuing to order, right? Duplicatable means that Dr. Danielle can do this, and Coach Stephanie Wong can do this, and Tracy Simpson in South Africa can do this. Janine, retired CEO, can do this. I mean, anybody can do this business, and that's that equal opportunity. And that is what network marketing offers, which I think is phenomenal when you guys are looking at it. So I want to ask you guys, and to put in the chat box, what would make the biggest impact in your life right now? Choose 3 of these things and just type them in there that would make a really big difference to you. And Janine, I want to ask you, one of the other questions on our question list here is, one is, why do you believe this business is such a natural fit for women in general?
Well, women love sharing great finds. We love helping other women, our friends. We love just talking about things that we have discovered. And so doing this business is very, very natural for women, I think. And we also, part of the business as well is supporting others, empowering others. And, we like to help people. And so this is a business that absolutely gives us the opportunity to do that. Most of us are referring people to a great place to shop, a great place to get your hair cut, a great movie, a restaurant, a book. We do that all the time anyways. So this just allows us to get paid for something that we're already doing.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up, because I want to go into that, segue that into, so how does this business work? So what do you need to do to make this business grow? I saw some of the reservations where, well, I won't make any money. So how do you make money in this business? How does it work?
So you're wanting me to address that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you basically are getting paid a thank you check for telling people about products that you love and sharing with them your experience and sharing with them how to use the products and what they can do for them. And you are going to get paid for every time those people shop. There's a lot of different ways to do the business. I think the business used to be done more in a direct sales fashion. And now, because of the internet and because, people have become accustomed to shopping online themselves, it's become even easier for people to be able to just go in and get products more easily themselves. And, what we're used to traditionally is traditional advertising, where there are spokespeople that are paid millions of dollars to be the spokesperson for CoverGirl or for a phone company, or, and we're used to that. We don't think a thing about it. But those supermodels, those celebrities, were paid millions of dollars to be that spokesperson. Most of the time, they don't even use the products. And we know that, but we don't stop and think about it. So when you cut out all of those layers and layers of expense, I mean, if you think about, with doTERRA and people that might buy some kind of other product that's similar, they're going to walk into a brick and mortar store. Those products had to be shipped to the store and put on the shelves, and their store is air conditioned, has employees. I mean, there are all these layers and layers of costs that we don't stop and think about need to be built into those products. So the products are typically not as quality as the products that you're going to get from a network marketing company, because they are able to use finer ingredients, better products. And so the quality is going to be very, very different. So it's just a different model that when you understand it, which is what our books really help people walk through all the things that, instead of thinking of it this way, think about it this way, and then it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I thank you so much. And you know what? I would love to hear. I'm going to share your website here and I'm going to share some links for you guys, but I would love to hear. So tell us, kind of going back to your story. Your daughter got you involved, and what was really, I want to know a couple things. What was that aha moment? And then tell us what your journey looked like to where you got to just be home. I know, so Janine travels half the year in her RV, which is just amazing. So tell us that aha moment and yeah, what it looked like to get your life to where it is now.
I think the aha moment for me was both learning that it wasn't a pyramid, that I could actually earn more of an income than the person that sponsored me. That was important to me. And I think just seeing the business model differently, I thought, and a lot of people perpetuate this myth as well, because they just aren't really sure how to do the business. But I thought you had to always be bugging your friends, that you had to always be looking for more people. But what I love about this business is the power of leverage and the power of exponential growth. And so when you sponsor someone, this business I look at as a virtual franchise. It's like a little online franchise, which is what everybody is looking for these days, is the way to do business from wherever they are. And the fact that I can actually I represent two things. I represent products and I represent the franchise. And so when I sponsor someone else to open their own franchise, then they know a whole lot of people that I don't know. So the way that just the exponential growth works is pretty amazing. And it's kind of like that phone tree that you guys are probably all much too young, but like when my kids were in Brownies and Girl Scouts and you needed to get a message out, you'd call three moms and they would call three moms, and you could get the message out to so many people by just calling a few people and having everybody kind of just, do the same thing. So the model is just absolutely brilliant. And that is what really got me excited. And just the ability also to help other people. I've always wanted to help people, but I didn't really want to be a psychologist. I mean, it's like I'm thinking, how can I really go out there and make a difference in people's lives? And with most careers, if we have a great career and have the opportunity to make a lot of money, we can't share that with our friends. And so this is something that we can truly share with our friends. I was presenting this business to a friend one time, and she kept saying, no, no. Her sister-in-law kept trying to talk her out of it. Her sister-in-law wanted her to be a decorator instead. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that is so trading time for money. So I went and I talked to the sister-in-law too. And by the time I got finished, the sister-in-law, who had just sold her own business and had made $3 million, when I got to the end, she goes, oh my gosh, I've got to do this. And I said, what? I was just trying to get her to stop discouraging her sister-in-law. I said, why? And she said, because I said, didn't you just make $3 million? And she said, yeah, but I have all kinds of girlfriends and nobody can play golf with me or go on trips with me. I've got to do this for them. So that's what I love about this too, is that it gives us the ability to choose people that we want to work with instead of being stuck with the people that come along with a job, and really help those other people in our lives. You know, a lot of times people think that when they get into this business that they want to tell their friends. Some people are like, you know, I don't want to talk to my family and friends. I want to only talk to other people. But I think if you find something that is so amazing and a way for somebody to live a completely different lifestyle, who do you want to share that with first? I mean, you want to share it with the people that are closest to you and that are your friends and your family. And a lot of times what happens when we first get into this business, we do that, but we're so enthusiastic and we don't know what we're doing. That's how Lori was with me. For a whole year, she was just telling me all this stuff, and it was going over my head because I wanted a way to earn a six-figure income from anywhere. And I did not see, you know, what she was talking about as being the way to give me that. And so I think we really have to remember that we are solution providers, that our job is to connect with people and to listen to people and to make this business is really about helping others. And when we make it about helping others versus making it about ourselves, that's where I think people get into trouble, is when they start looking at this as it's about them. And people can feel that, you know, our belief and our energy comes across. And when we really look at this as the gift that it is that we have for others, and we can really listen to what their needs are and connect the dots for them between how this can be that, we have a completely different outcome. And you know, one of the reasons we wrote the Flip Flop CEO is because when we're brand new is when we get bombarded with all of these objections and we don't know how to address them. You know, we're just learning about this ourselves. So we wanted to create a resource that would be ideal for a new person to give. So if Lori could have just come home and given me this book and said, Mom, it sounds like we are talking about two completely different things. Would you just read this? And I actually just encourage people to read the first 3 chapters, 30 minutes. And when people do that, their eyes are opened. It's just a matter of us kind of seeing both sides, seeing things from a different perspective. And so the books are really good to enlighten skeptics or people that don't understand or people that are dealing with outdated beliefs like I was. And we need resources for that because there are so many people still holding on to those myths. And, you know, so we need an objective, unbiased resource that really calls out every single elephant in the room, because there's a lot of them. There's, you know, several, and maybe the one that we had isn't the same one that the person we're talking to had. So we want to really address their, you know, their concerns and their questions.
Thank you so much. That was incredible. I loved hearing the story about the person that just made $3 million and she saw the benefit. And what you said is golden, making this about others. And right now, there are so many people who are out of jobs or having to work from home anyway. People are looking for it. And I'm going to send you guys the link right now, but the book itself is a great way, I think, for you to read it. And it really addresses those logical points that you can go through, because that way you can chat with people. But if, you know, it also gives you a way that can break down those barriers so that they can change their life. You're not trying to convince anybody. I remember, Kirsten, my best friend, she wanted her best friends in the business with her that could all make 6 and 7 figure incomes with her. And she wanted that for me. And my initial, when she was talking to me about the business, I was like, she's just trying to get me to do something to make her money. That was my limiting belief. And it wasn't until I realized how much I wanted that freedom lifestyle. And I came to her and said, I want to do this. She was so excited. Now her and I were, we're best friends. We've been able to travel all over together. We have freedom lifestyle together and so much fun. And she gets so excited hearing like that my paycheck is increasing still to this day, and I just love that. It creates this community. So I'm going to ask Janine one more question, and I'll preface it with my answer first is your favorite thing about network marketing. What is your favorite thing? And I'm going to say for me, it's two things. I have a hard time choosing. It's the leadership development. I love personal development. The second is you guys, my community, my friends, my people I get to meet from all over the globe and have this family with through the business. Those are my two favorite. Will you tell us your two favorite things? And I'm going to put a couple links in the chat box.
Yeah, I would say the freedom and flexibility. I was a single mom when my kids were small, and I wasn't able to be there for a lot of the important moments. And every time I talk about the story, it makes me cry because you can't replace. You can't replace those moments. And so this business has given me the opportunity to be the stay-at-home grandma and to do those things I didn't get to do with my kids as a grandmother. So giving somebody else that gift is priceless. And then I think the other thing is that we get to choose who we do it with. And you touched upon this, Danielle, with you and Kirsten. I love that you guys get to do this together. And that's how, for my daughter, I think because I worked in the corporate world for 30 plus years, went to work in the dark, got home in the dark, lived for weekends, lived for time off. I thought I had died and gone to heaven when I got to meet my daughter every day at a Starbucks and do the business, or wherever we were. We could travel and go shopping, do appointments around our shopping, and just having that freedom and flexibility, and to be able to spend time with the people that you love and do life with the people that you love and do trips with people that you love. I mean, there's so many perks to this business that are unimaginable to people that are coming from the corporate world, but we've taken so many amazing trips together that we earned. And just having that ability to do life with the people that you choose to do it with is priceless.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much, Janine. It's just amazing to hear your story and the passion and the journey that, I love that. I'm just imagining you and your daughter and you get to sit down and do Starbucks in the middle of a Tuesday with your daughter. How wonderful. And you made me visualize how I need to offer that and just how that's what we're offering for people is this freedom lifestyle. And the rejection isn't about us. It's just about the rejection of the place that they're at in their life. And that's where I was with Kirsten when she mentioned it to me. I was like, I don't want to do that. What are you talking about? It wasn't a rejection of her. Still loved her. She's my best friend. But it wasn't the right timing until 8 months later when I was like, yes, I get it. And that those barriers were broken down. So thank you so much. And I want to ask you guys, that those of you that are already involved with the business, maybe type in the chat box what it is, one thing that you like, just like cream of the crop about being involved with this business. If you'll put that in the chat box. Lastly here, I put 2 links, you guys. You Decide podcast. So Janine is a co-author or a co-podcaster with somebody, and they do a podcast all about network marketing. They try to interview people from different fields, like different careers, so that you can use these podcasts to help people break down those barriers. So I've given you a link that's the one that I did with her, and then you can scroll, you can listen to that, but you can also listen to many others. And then, so go ahead and click on that and bookmark that. The next link in this video is her book, and the code to get the book at a discount is Clarity. Those are sold USA and Canada, is that right?
Yes, so the books are available using that code on our website. So theflipflopceo.com, and they are available. You can have them shipped to Canada. It's expensive to ship to Canada. What a lot of times I've seen people do is go together with other leaders, and get a larger order together so that you can share the shipping costs. But with the discount on the books, we're offering them at $5 each. So it's a really super, super good discount. And then they're also available via Amazon in Audible and Kindle, both books. And we didn't talk about Does the Shoe Fit? Just really quickly. Does the Shoe Fit is the sequel to the Flip Flop CEO. And we wrote that book because a lot of people, after they read the Flip Flop CEO, said, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. I think, network marketing is something that I'm interested in, but how would I know how to choose a company? How would I know if I would be good at network marketing? I've always been like, Danielle, I'm a PhD in psychology. This is what I've done. And, I had been in corporate sales. Other people have been maybe a flight attendant or a nurse or a teacher. So what we're used to before we really get involved in network marketing is looking at our resume and seeing if our resume would be a good match for network marketing. And so there's no books out there that really compare traditional 9-to-5s to network marketing and how they compare to careers. So Does the Shoe Fit bridges that gap and is a guide to help you decide whether or not network marketing would be a good fit for you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And so you guys can get these in the US, and those for you in South Africa, you could get Amazon on Audible or the Kindle version, sounds like. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Well, I just want to thank Janine for spending so much time with us today and talking about her passion. You can see that network marketing is her passion. And that's why they do a podcast, just to help break down those barriers and help more people get the lifestyle that it brings, as well as written 2 books about network marketing. And so these are great resources for all of you to just answer those questions. And like we said in the beginning, we're not here to convince you. We wanted to share our story, our love, our passion, and our purpose. And for you to look at, does this align for you? Is this what you want to do? And what it can actually do to change your life. So thank you again. Thanks everybody for being on. And thank you, Janine, for being on this call with us.
Thank you so much.